Folks, this is Mike from The Rock Show. I am joined with, icon, I guess, of Thrash. Scotty, how's it going, chap?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, not too bad at all, man. You're over here doing a spoken word tour. How did that come about?
Kind of by accident, I guess. Last year, my agent asked me if I would be interested in doing one in London the night before our tour with Motorhead was starting.
Yeah.
And I just kind of said yes without thinking about it. Because it was about 4 months before the actual gig was going to happen. So I figured I'd have time to put something together and figure it out and figure out what I was going to do. Because it's something I kind of had in the back of my mind that I always wanted to try,
right,
at least just once to see if I could do it. And if I hated it, then I would never do it again. So I figured, here's my chance. And so I basically spent 4 months thinking I was going to rehearse and put together a show and all this, and I did nothing. So the night before that show, which was November 4th last year, I pretty much tried to get out of it by saying I was sick and I needed to cancel it. And then my wife was like, why don't you just need to calm down? Like, you can sit in a bar with your friends and tell stories all night, and that's all you're going to be doing is telling stories in a bar with people drinking.
Okay,
so that's what I did, and it worked really well, and it felt really natural, and I had a lot of fun. So I did 2 more in Australia in February when we were just down there, and you know, my agent put this tour together for me because I said I want to do more of these. You know, if we find a window of time, can we make it happen? And so here I am doing the tour, and yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Was it specifically when you start all this experience in the UK, or was it just that was when a time window was free and the UK was available? Type thing?
Well, yeah, when this was originally booked, yeah, I basically had a window of time off. What happened was then Anthrax booked a South American tour, which was overlapping with this, so I had to rearrange a lot of these dates. I had to cancel a date in Liverpool because it wasn't able to be moved. And then that was all done and said, okay, fine, everything's cool. And then Anthrax booked 2 shows with Iron Maiden this coming weekend in Spain on the Sonosphere Festival. Oh, right. So I had to change things again. So what was an open window of time started getting messed with. So it was a little frustrating for me, and I'm sure some of the fans who saw dates move around a few times. But you know, I just wanted to come and do it and just see if it's something I could do. One show as a one-off is one thing, but I've never gone on tour by myself before. You know, doing like on my own solo, all the responsibility is mine. And so far, so good. You know, I've done 3 shows, and all 3 have been great so far. The crowd's been really
taking the shows out to some unusual places. Well, I guess when you're with the bands, you go and do the major cities. Right. This time, you're going out to places like Gloucester and sort of come down here to Plymouth, that kind of thing. Was that purposeful?
I don't know. I guess my agent would have the answer to that, because we are doing London and Newcastle and Glasgow and Manchester, and Dublin and Belfast and, you know, Cardiff. We are doing major cities as well. So you know, maybe it's just a combination of things, or maybe this is just where the smaller rooms are that, you know, that I should be doing on something like this, considering I'm pretty much starting from zero doing this. So, you know, the last thing I want to do is play in big rooms with nobody there. That would suck. So, but yeah, I've never been to Plymouth before. First time ever. First time even anywhere near this part of the country, really.
I saw your tweet earlier about driving past the sign for Torquay.
Yeah. I got excited when I saw that. I mean, you know, obviously I know Faulty Towers isn't real, but I got very excited when I passed that sign. And yeah, here I'd never been to Gloucester before. You could kind of say, you know, that's kind of close enough to Bristol, where all the people who were at the show in Gloucester last night basically said, yeah, we've seen Anthrax in Bristol many times. So they said, and it's funny enough, some kids told me last night, they were like, thank you so much for coming here. Henry Rollins doesn't even come here when he does his speaking thing. He only does Bristol, so thank you so much for coming to Gloucester. And I'm like,
that's cool.
Well, if you're good, I'll come back.
Anthrax were the very first band to be announced for this year's Bloodstock Festival on the Sunday of last year's Bloodstock Festival, a year in advance.
Oh, we were?
Yep.
Cool.
How does it feel to be asked to play at Bloodstock this year?
Well, we've never done it before, so I don't really know.
Okay.
We've never played the show before. I expect it's going to be a great gig because it's a proper full-on metal festival. Yeah. And it's, you know, it's us and Slayer, I believe, on the same day, if I'm right.
And Devil Driver as well.
Yeah, so I have a feeling it's going to be pretty crazy. crazy. I try to keep my expectations low because sometimes I find if you get really high expectations for something, you don't want to end up being disappointed in it.
Yeah.
But I have the feeling it's going to be, it's kind of like you look at something like Download or Sonosphere, but then if you just kind of siphoned out just the pure metal people, I feel like that's what the crowd's going to be like at Bloodstock.
Yeah,
it should be pretty nuts.
Yeah. Your career's been spanned, just over 30 years now. If you had one show or one gig you were most proudest to be part of, which one would it be?
Probably Yankee Stadium on the Big Four.
Right.
Back in 2011. As a New York band, it just doesn't get any better than that. So I can't even say it was a dream come true because bands really never play Yankee Stadium. It's only been recently in the last couple of years since they built the new stadium that they've even really had shows there. I think before us, literally the only people to play Yankee Stadium other than the Yankees and once in a while a football game were Paul McCartney, Billy Joel, and the Pope. So the fact that you had the Big Four there was, I'd say, it's pretty groundbreaking and awesome. And as the New York band of those four bands, for us it was a really big deal, and we're Yankee fans as well. So everything about it was just bigger and better and cooler and more mind blowing than anything I've ever been a part of.
Did you get to use their dressing room as your dressing room?
No, they don't. Even Metallica didn't get to use the Yankees. No, but you don't get to go in the Yankees locker room. I think Metallica used the visiting team's dressing room, but we did get to walk past it, and we did get to get a tour of like all the behind the scenes stuff, and it was a pretty mind blowing day, I have to say.
Awesome. If you took every track in the thrash movement, which one would you say you would have liked to have written yourself, excluding anything in Anthrax?
I'll say Angel of Death. That's a pretty easy one for me. Rain and Blood's my favorite quote-unquote thrash metal record. So, I'll say Angel of Death.
Awesome, man. You're also quite into the geek side of sort of rock and metal with your zombies and all that, and comics and things. What is it that you think metalers in particular are attracted to comics and zombies?
Well, obviously there's an aggression there that I guess, is kind of similar in some of these things. I guess it just depends on what comics you're reading.
Okay.
Also, if you're talking about comics, because I know plenty of comic book nerds that don't listen to metal. They listen to The Cure, and other types of music, completely different genres of music. So, but the horror and metal thing, certainly to me, has always gone hand in hand.
Yeah.
I find there's a larger percentage of people that I know that are into horror, especially of late, having been hosting that Blood and Gut show online for Fangoria and the Nerds channel, and I've been meeting all these guys who work behind the scenes, doing effects and whatnot, and every one of them's a metalhead. They're all Anthrax fans, and everyone I meet in the horror industry is a metal fan, and all my friends who are into horror are all into metal. So I think that one much closer, and I think it's just the subject matter and the aggression and the energy.
That makes perfect sense.
It's kind of the same. I think a good horror movie and a good metal song will in a weird way move you in the same way. Like, at least for me personally, I get the same feeling out of it. Like if I watch Dawn of the Dead or listen to a metal record, it's a very similar emotion that it brings up.
That's cool, man. Are there any more plans to do any work with the Damn Things?
No official plans, no. We've all talked about it plenty of times, but it's like anything else. It's like finding the time to do it. We were all really lucky that we've had that window of opportunity to make that record and actually go out and tour it, as much as we did, because we just all had the time at that time. None of us have that time anymore. So the idea of making a record is definitely a possibility, because we never really have to be in the same room all that much to do that.
But technology.
Writing songs is one thing. And so I do believe someday we'll be able to put another record out. Whether we'll ever be able to actually tour the world on it, that's hard to imagine. Shows here and there maybe. But I certainly like the idea of us making another record someday.
Cool. beards. We've got to talk about beards. Yours has taken all sorts of incarnations over the years. What's the best beard look? I'm trying to cultivate mine myself, you see. That's the thing.
I don't know. I can't say. I'm not. I have a beard, but that doesn't make me an expert in any way, shape, or form on beards. I really don't pay attention to my own beard or other people's beards. And mine just, people ask me all the time, how do you grow such a crazy beard? You don't shave. It's not really...
You see what happens with it.
Yeah, there's no science to it. I'm not one of these dudes. I actually saw a documentary recently on these guys that go into these beard competitions, and there's all the different categories of different types of beards and all this. And man, these people take it so seriously, and like there's all this animosity between the guy who wins all the time and the other people who are jealous of him, and he is actually kind of a dick. And like the movie was hilarious. I'm like, I cannot believe how serious these people are taking their facial hair. It's like, I don't think about this thing like about as much I think about it is literally the once a week I shave. I just try not to nick it. It's literally it's that.
I had that problem. It was literally down to like here.
Right.
Trimmed it up one side and just trying to get that balance, and in the end I just had to go and just look a mess, unfortunately.
Yeah, I've thought many times about just getting rid of it at this point, but it doesn't annoy me enough yet to lose it, basically. I thought maybe if I lose it, people wouldn't recognize me anymore, but I think the problem is the eyebrows as well, so, and I'm not going to shave my eyebrows, so I'm kind of stuck.
I'll just stick with it then and see what happens.
Yeah.
It has been a pleasure sitting down and chatting with you. I do have one final question that we're asking everyone this summer at all the festivals. What does the mosh pit mean to you?
What does the mosh pit mean to me? I definitely love looking out and seeing it. That's for sure. It definitely gives me when I see people going that nuts for what we're doing on stage. I definitely use that energy. It gives me a huge charge and a huge kick in the ass when I'm on stage, and that energy definitely fuels me to go even harder, because when I see what people are doing because of our music, it makes me want to go even harder to give them more, and it kind of turns into this circle.
Yeah.
You know, the better. Always, I've said it all the time. The better the crowd, the better the show you're going to see. It's just the truth, because it makes me want to work even that much harder. Because if people are gonna do that for what I'm doing, then I got to leave everything on that stage. You know. I got to give them even more than I'm capable of giving, so I feed off of it, and that's what the mosh pit means to me.
Awesome. Thanks very much for taking the time out and chatting to us.
Cool.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
Cheers.